G'day and welcome to another video. Now today we're going to be looking at Master League Classic teams. Give you guys some inspiration. First team we're going to be looking at is Melmetal, Mewtwo, Giratina Altered. Theory is here, you've got a safe swap in Mewtwo, and that allows you with the Melmetal to use superpower if needed, dip out, and you've still got, it's basically two safe swaps this team. So as you can see here, we've got a pretty bad lead, or it's kind of neutral, but what we've got here, what we've got the benefit of doing here, as you'll see, is we can superpower, and then we can just dip out of this, and as you can see, the superpower gets the Kyogre down, and effectively what happens here is we can draw out a potential Giratina and keep it away from our Melmetal. But in this case, we've drawn Dialga. So what we're going to do here is essentially we could get farmed down. Mewtwo does win the one shield straight side strike, but we're just going to get both shields from the Dialga here. And then we can come in with Mewtwo, with Melmetal, which isn't threatened at all by any of Dialga's moves, and it's just about in superpower range here. So what we can do is go into Melmetal, throw the move, and this will almost KO the Dialga, and then we can go into Giratina, shield and farm down. So he's just swapped straight out and tried to catch us with the move, but we've got him there, and so now we've got the matchup that we want. So we've got Giratina on Kyogre here, and he's used his energy. So what we can do here is farm up a ton, knowing that he's got to get to a Blizzard to really threaten us. And we can chip away the Dragon Claws, but he knows he's not going to get to the move, so he's throwing the Surf now. And we can then farm down. What this does is leaves us in a really good position, because we've got energy, so we can threaten the rest of that Dialga's health. And he comes in with Melmetal here, and we've just thrown, assuming it was the Dialga. We want to get the move off, but look, this doesn't matter too much here. We can throw the Shadow Sneak here and go into our own Melmetal. And now that his Melmetal's out of health, where basically we can throw the superpower here. We've still got a shield. And then what we can do is farm this down with our own Giratina. So if he's thrown the superpower here, that's great. He hasn't got a lot of excess energy, and he's debuffed himself. So, and he swapped straight out there. He's got the move here. We can shield here, farm down, and that'll mean that we have the Shadow Sneak in the back for the Melmetal, which isn't quite at a move. So GG's there, and just a shout out to Antag for helping us with some of the games, and also Rick Nevolt. So we're moving to another team now. So basically this team is a double flyer, and it's got Groudon in the front to deal with Melmetal. So you can bait out the Melmetal with one of the flyers and allow the other one to run free in the back. The other unique thing about this Groudon is we're going to be testing out Dragon Tail. It's had a buff since last season. So here we've got a pretty neutral lead, probably does favour the Mewtwo, but as you can see, those Dragon Tails are really chunking away. We did try and swap out. Obviously we've got the Veltal in the back, which hard walls Mewtwo, but unfortunately we're terrible at sack swapping here, so we're just going to stay in for a bit. Going to shield again here, I imagine. Oh no, probably let this go. Yep, and we should be able to get to the Fire Punch. He's swapped out. We'll just bank some energy and we'll go into Lugia. So running essentially a double Dragon Tail team here. Now as far as flyers go, Lugia pretty much, it's so bulky that there's not too many dragons that can deal serious damage to it. I think with the Dragon Tail buff, it basically beats everything. Giratina Origin might be close if it lands the Shadow Ball, but even Giratina Altered can't handle it. So we mistimed our throw there, so we're just going to do an average throw so we can get another Dragon Tail worth of energy. So we're in a good position here. He's bringing the Mewtwo back in, and looks like he's sacrificing it here, so I'd be interested to see what's in the back. And yeah, here's a good example. So Garchomp basically has to throw Outrage to be able to do anything to Lugia, and this is just a Sand Tomb, so we can let this go. And we can now go into Groudon, which is also doing super effective because of that Dragon Tail. Now this will pressure the last shield, and it's now basically in Sky Attack range, so yeah, didn't even need to show the last mon this time, so we can shield here and we win this one. So yeah, double flyer in the back, Groudon in the front to deal with Melmetal, and also double Dragon Tail, so that deals with the pesky dragons. So yeah, it's a bit of a showcase of that team there. Now what we're going to do with this team is, thanks to, big shout out to Rich as well, is we're going to run it again against Rich's team. So here we've got Ho-Oh lead, not great for Groudon. Particularly if it was running Mudshot, because obviously Mudshot being a ground move would be resisted by the Ho-Oh, but as you can see the Dragon Tails are actually chipping away here. So we'll throw the Fire Punch here, obviously resisted, he doesn't need to shield anything. But we don't really want to swap out just yet, so we'll take the Earthquake, and we'll throw another move here and see what he wants to do. He'll probably let this go, and no, he shielded there, which is good. So now he's gone into Dialga and sniped us, so really good play there by him. But we've got shield advantage now, and Veltal's got the Focus Blast, and does actually win the Dialga matchup, so we'll shield here. Obviously an Iron Head wouldn't KO us, but Dragon Breath is a bit shocking, so we're going to go for the Focus Blast here, and he's let that through, so that's really, really good. And it's going to come down to a pretty close end game here. So Ho-Oh comes in. Now, Earthquake obviously resisted, but I don't reckon he'll be throwing that. So he's gone the Brave Bird to get the last shield. So that was well played by him. And it's a Zekrom in the back. So we've got some extra energy there. And then we're going into our Lugia here. And he's throwing the Crunch. So Crunch is super effective here. But obviously Wild Charge would be better. But he was probably worried the Wild Charge wouldn't KO. And unfortunately that means we're going to get the shield here, and we're really close to, he's going to have to throw to get rid of this Lugia. Lugia is just such a pain, and that's taking care of the Lugia, but we've almost got two moves here, and Snarl is such a fast charging move. The old Bacon Bird's going to just be able to double Dark Pulse here to finish this game off. But as you saw in that game, Rich has got Ho-Oh, which is a really, really commanding mon with two terrific moves as well. Alright, next team we're going to be trying is Kyogre lead. Now, I think it's Dialap Chan is a streamer who got to Legend a couple of years ago using this team. So I thought I'd give this a go and see where it's at. Double Dragon in the back, Kyogre in the front for the Melmetal. And thanks to Antag for another game here. So Kyogre Mirror. These things are shocking. Both of us play this one a similar way. I don't think he's running Thunder either. So we both build to the Thunder and then throw the Surfs. And we've CMP'd on the move there. So in this situation, I really, it's good for me if I can keep my Kyogre, just in case there is in fact a Melmetal or something in the back. So I think the idea is to draw out the Melmetal. So I've caught the Surf, and we'll just have to see what he's running in the back. So Surf goes through there. He's bringing his own Dialga in. Not an amazing situation for us, but what we can do is we'll force the shield here with the Iron Head, and he'll probably just shield and farm down. We've taken shield advantage. We've still got the Kyogre in the back, but just have to see what happens here. It's not an amazing situation, but we'll come in with the Zekrom. We should be able to farm down. We'll take a shield. He'll probably throw Iron Head here, but we should be able to Dragon Breath him down before he gets to another move. And we do. And I think in this game he's running Togekiss in the back. Yeah, he is. So not too much we can do here. We can throw the Wild Charge, but he's going to shield this. And what we really needed to do here was catch him with the Surf, but we didn't, unfortunately. So, yeah, if we caught him with the Surf there, might have worked out a little bit better, but we've farmed theirs down. But we're not going to be able to get to the Blizzard, which is what we need to do to KO that Togekiss, and it's going to now be able to farm down, and we're going to die with a shield. Zekrom's not going to be able to get to another move before this Togekiss charms it down. So we'll just let this one go. So probably not the best showcase of that team, but you saw how versatile it is, and Zekrom is actually a really good mon to use. Wild Charge is a particularly good move. Alright, so against Rich here again, and so now we're just using that same team. that we used against Antag. Bit of a different situation here. A much more favourable lead, but Rich has done well to catch the surf there. But a little bit reverse in the previous game. We can now look to farm down, shield and farm down, but we actually get to the Iron Head first. Rich and I were talking about this, and oh no, actually we CMP'd there. He was saying that I got to the Iron Head a lot faster than him, but he swapped on the move, so we actually got in at the same time. But obviously he took the surf, so yeah. We can farm down there and maintain switch, which is really good for us. And we can throw the Iron Head here. Rich probably shouldn't be shielding this, but he's so low now that he basically has no choice. So we can bring the Kyogre back in. And this is probably the Brave Bird. And Brave Bird does a ton of damage. So we're going to shield here. And we can keep that one alive. And he's got Lugia in the back. So a bit like reverse of one of the other games here where he threw the Crunch. I'm going to go for the Wild Charge. And as you can see, I think Crunch did maybe like 30% or something. Wild Charge, more like 50%. And that's great. We CMP'd on the move. Absolutely perfect. It means that his Ho-Oh can't get any energy. And we can just farm it down here. And I think he realises and quits the game. So yeah, GG's there. So we got to see the team work a bit better that time. Now this team we're going to be showing now is a classic team. You guys out there will probably have a lot of these Mon powered up, but it's Giratina Double Steel. It's basically the Season 1 and 2 line that a lot of people went to Legend with. So we'll see if this has still got some play. Now that we've got a few extra Mon in the league, it's probably not as good as it was. Pretty neutral lead here. Gira A chips away, but it's got more bulk. And Gira O has the harder hitting moves, depending on if you can land them. So if I can land the Shadow Ball here, this would be really good. He's throwing the first Dragon Claw. Now, because we're a double steel team, we can't really afford to lose our Giratina early in the game. So we're going to swap out here. And try and farm down with our Dialga. So he's getting to another move here. He's throwing the Shadow Snake there. Okay, so just for anyone out there, yes, Dialga is Steel type, but Dragon Claw is actually the more energy efficient move. It's actually neutral. All right, so we're getting to the Thunder here. And he's not shielding that one, so that's a bit of a bugger. Probably couldn't take the risk on that. But that's leaving him with Mamo in the back. He'll look to farm down, shield and farm down here, I reckon. Yeah, but unfortunately for him, we're running a double steel line, so he might be thinking if it was Dragon in the back, and if it was, he might be a pretty strong chance. But unfortunately, what we can do here. With Melmetal, and we've seen it in previous games, is you can actually just build up some energy. I can Superpower here. He has to shield this. Superpower does over 50% damage to a Mamo. He has to shield that. I can then swap out, and I've been lucky enough to swap out on the move. And he's KO'd the Giratina, and then I can come back in and just Superpower for the win this time. So still has some play. That team definitely, but it kind of fell away a little bit when Groudon became super popular. Now this team here, basically this team works by using Dialga as a safe swap and drawing out the Melmetal, and then Giratina can come back in, farm the Melmetal down, get a lot of energy, because it'll be debuffed from throwing superpowers at the Dialga, and what it does is, having drawn out that Melmetal, it should mean that Togekiss is free in the back. Alright, so I'd say it's an advantageous lead here, but it's pretty neutral, basically because Dialga doesn't the Giratina Ultra doesn't hit that hard. But what it can do is survive 2 Side Strikes, and doesn't have to shield, so it can KO the Mewtwo here. This Side Strike won't KO. So in the 0, it can just win. But beautiful swap again by Rich into Darkrai there. But unfortunately, and I appreciate him showing us a lot of spice, but this is probably why Darkrai doesn't have a lot of play. It gets absolutely walled by a Togekiss, and it's super fragile. It does hit extremely hard though if it's in the right matchups. Nothing scarier than a Darkrai with 2 shields in the back and you're not running a Togekiss. Anyway, he's built a good team here, so he's got good coverage, and this it's going to be a little bit scary because the Metagross can actually farm us all the way down here and have an absolute stack of energy. So what we're going to try and do here is get him to throw his energy at the Giratina. So we'll come in here and we'll quickly swap out. Hopefully this is Earthquake. And it is, so that's amazing. And what we can do now is just put some shield pressure on here. Obviously, he probably baits you with Meteor Mash, but we don't take the risk, we don't need to. He brings the Mewtwo back in, it won't get to a move. And then we can just throw the Thunder here, it won't matter. The Iron Head, if he shields this, will KO in the next game, in the next move anyway. So, look, actually a really good lineup from Rich there as well. Most people have a Metagross, so not a bad team to have there. And yeah, we go into the next one now. So the next team we're looking at it's double fire again, but instead of Groudon in the front, it's got Mewtwo. So what this allows us to do is have a bit more flexibility in the lead. So let's say it's a Melmetal lead, we can just go straight Focus Blast on the Mewtwo. And if it will eventually go down with shields down, because it's putting so much shield pressure on, it allows the 2 big boys in the back that hit really hard. It allows us to for them to go hard. So for instance, if Mewtwo gets the shields down, Aeroblast does a ton of damage and Focus Blast does a ton of damage from the other 2. So we win lead here, so we can just throw that Side Strike, and then we can just basically just Dragon Tail down here, and that's the end of the Dragonite. I'm sitting in a really good position, so let's see what he decides to bring in now. Giratina. So as we discussed, this team really thrives on throwing the big moves and getting the shields down, so we're going to throw the Aeroblast. He's called the bait there, unfortunately, and we actually got the buff. So even though we shouldn't shield here, we're going to, and he's going to bring the Kyogre in. I just want to see how much damage a buffed Lugia can do. We won't shield this, but this won't KO. And so we'll be able to get the Sky Attack away. And yeah, Aeroblast is a pretty broken move. So this team's really a nuke team. So we can now come back in with Mewtwo here, and that Kyogre is in Psystruck range. Yep. So we can just shield this Surf, and this next move will KO. So we're really fortunate to win lead quite comfortably there. And yeah, once shields get down, this team just really knows how to power home. So yeah, it's definitely a team I can that I'm liking the look of. I'm not sure whether Groudon might be a better lead. Anyway, this next team works on a similar sort of thing. This was a super popular team in, I think, season 3 or 4 once Groudon got Fire Punch, because it was countering that double steal with the Melmetal. But what the twist on this team, as we've discussed already, is it's actually running Groudon's running Dragon Tail. So what that means is quite often, and the reason this team died away was Dragonite actually became super popular, and it hard walls Groudon because of Fire Punch and Earthquake being resisted. But with Dragon Tail, Groudon actually wins the one shield. So the buff to Dragon Tail really makes it does lose a few matchups because Mudshot generates energy a little bit slower. A little bit quicker. But yeah, it does give it that flexibility, and people won't be expecting it. Anyway, so swapped out there. Probably shouldn't have. The easiest way to deal with a Mewtwo in the lead is to actually double shield and farm down. You'll at least get one shield back, and then you can threaten the next mon. Can be a bit risky, but that's the best way or to let the Dialga go down and then farm up with something else. But in this case, we swapped out, and Zekrom's come in, and Crunch has gone through there. So we'll come in with the Dialga and farm down here. Now, I think this is where I make a bit of a mistake. He brings the Mewtwo back in. He's got enough energy for a Focus Blast here, but I had a shield, so I called his bluff, and that didn't work out. And probably needed that because what we've got in the back is Lugia. So normally Lugia would absolutely hard wall Groudon because it'd be throwing mud shots, which are resisted, Fire Punch, which doesn't do much damage to a Lugia, and Earthquake, which is resisted. But you can see the Dragon Tails are actually really chipping away at the Lugia here. So we'll shield here. That's probably an Aeroblast. But as you'll see, these Dragon Tails are actually chunking away and even giving us a chance of winning this game. So we'll throw here. I don't think it's going to quite be enough, but it's just really interesting to see the dynamic change once Groudon has Dragon Tail. It does actually change things and makes it even more flexible than it was before. So that's super interesting. So rather than going down super hard here, we've been able to, take it within maybe 1 or 2 fast moves of winning the game. So pretty interesting team, that one, and worth your consideration. Now, I just want to thank again Rich and Antag for helping with the games. Thong also chipped in with the game, but unfortunately I couldn't use his. And Dus came in here. So this is just a bit of bonus battle for a bit of entertainment, just so we can see what Dus is running. And he's running Mega Spice. Unfortunately, his Mega Spice team, as we're seeing here, is hard-walled in the lead by Kyogre, and he's forced to bring Dragonite in, and Melmetal's just an absolute tank, and hard-walls the Dragonite, so we're going to be able to KO it here, and he's going to come back in with Chandelure, and I'm not going to ruin what's in the back, but Chandelure doesn't really appreciate Melmetal either, so he's going to have to shield this Rock Slide. So he's going to be down a shield, and he's not got Switch either, so not a great situation. We almost get to another move. So I guess he's got no choice here but to throw the Flame Charge, and he does that. I don't really want to get hit with a Shadow Ball, so I don't let that go. But I've got the shield here, so I'll get his last shield here. And we've still got a shield, so we can farm down, which is what we'll do. He'll be throwing the Shadow Ball now. The surf's already gone through, sorry, the waterfall's already gone through. We shield, he's done, and unfortunately he's got his Shadow Mamo in the back, and let's see how much a surf does to a Shadow Mamo. That's it, it's game over. Crazy. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you can find a team in there that does well for you in Master League. See you later.